Americans. Al Smith had a honker of a nose, and his big smile revealed a mouthful of gold fillings. His wide-striped suits were brassy and loud. In his younger days, his 5-foot 7-inch frame was slender and lithe. Now, at age 37, there was a hint of a paunch underneath his vest. He was rarely without a cigar and smoked as many as 18 a day. His voice, a laborer's bellow, was urban and ethnic, and in his everyday speech he displayed only the slightest familiarity with English as it was spoken in the Fort Orange Club, just around the corner from the Capitol, or in the uptown neighborhoods of Manhattan. But a more refined colleague who was fond of Smith said he and other legislators overlooked Smith's violations of the rules of grammar because he was such an easy-going fellow, quick with a song and story and a slap on the back. Except for Thursday night, nobody in Albany worked harder than Al Smith did. He was invariably described as a self-taught political genius, for he left school in 8th grade when he went to work to help his widowed mother and his younger sister. But he had some help in mastering the art of legislation. For a few years early in his political career, Al Smith roomed with a quiet young German immigrant with a law degree, Robert Wagner, who taught him the tricks lawyers played with the people's business. The two men, both products of the streets of New York City, became good friends, and now, in the winter of 1911, they were the talk of Albany. Smith was not only the Assembly's majority leader, but chairman of the all-powerful Ways and Means Committee. Wagner, at age 33, was the youngest president of the state Senate in New York history. The press called Smith and Wagner the Tammany Twins, for they were members of Tammany Hall, the infamous Democratic Party machine run by Charles Francis Murphy, a saloon keeper who was said to treat politicians under his control as though they were waiters at his favorite dining establishment, Delmonico's. Because it was not a Thursday and there would be no corned beef and cabbage at Keeler's, Al Smith had nothing but his tedious homework to keep him busy until bedtime on this warm January night. But then he ran into his friend Wagner, whose business on this night was very much unfinished. Wagner was on his way to see a junior member of the state Senate who was holding up business in Albany on an issue that had little to do with the making of laws and budgets, about which the young man knew very little. He had won election to the state Senate in 1910 after promising the laborers, farmers, and mechanics in his rural district that he would protect them from the evils of city politicians, and everybody in the district knew who and what he meant. Now he was making good on his promise and, not coincidentally, adjusting the beam of publicity from Wagner and Smith to himself. Wagner sought to put an end to the nonsense, so he donned a sackcloth of humility, placed his hat in his hand, and prepared to walk across State Street to meet with the new state senator from Dutchess County, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Roosevelt! Smith had never met the man, but he had heard all about him. Who in Albany had not? 2 weeks into his career as a public servant, the 28-year-old with the brilliant smile and impeccable pedigree had proclaimed himself the new arch-enemy of Tammany Hall and Murphy, the saloon-keeper. He was serving as the spokesman for about 24 dissident Democrats who refused to attend the party's voting sessions to choose a new U.S. Senator from New York. Those were the dying years of the old way of electing senators, when state legislatures, not the people, made the choice. Democrats controlled both houses of the legislature, so they were ready to send a fellow Democrat to Washington as the term of the Republican incumbent, Chauncey Depew, expired. Murphy, the saloon-keeper, supported the candidacy of a one-time state legislator and lieutenant governor named William Sheehan, known to friend and foe alike as Blue-Eyed Billy, a charming, if not necessarily remarkable politician who had grown rich as a lawyer in New York City. But Roosevelt, with his hours of experience in government to draw upon, decided that Sheehan was not fit for the U.S. Senate, a place where men with faces meant for marble pillars debated great issues of the day.